Spawn Dreamhouse playset, Violators, Cruising Convertible, and everything you see here now available from McFarlane Toys, each sold separately.
Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here with Ninja Spawn from McFarlane Toys, Spawn Wave 3. This wave I had pre-ordered through Amazon, and the release dates were all like in July, but between Target and GameStop now, a lot of these figures from Wave 3 are starting to show up in people's hands. I got this through GameStop myself. Let's go ahead and get Ninja Spawn out of the box. All right, let's start by bringing him in here for a closer look. Now, I just hit him with a hairdryer because am really hoping that this guy is very articulated and has a lot of fun factor. Because as far as just the character Ninja Spawn, I don't really, wasn't really dying for this variation. If you're familiar with Spawn at all, you'll know that Al Simmons wasn't the only Spawn. There have been many different Spawns through the years, through the eras. Viking Spawn. You can see this neck here is that all the articulations coming in at the base of the head. Which is not my favorite, but we'll see how that comes into play when we throw him into some different poses. The arms get up here. This over the shoulder, it's got a little bit of give, but it doesn't really want to let it all the way past a T. Bring it up like that though, and that can hold, so that's nice. The sculpt on this guy, it looks really fantastic. All new sculpt from what I can tell. Looking like some good articulation there in the torso. Like I said, if this guy's going to be Ninja Spawn, I'm really going to need him to do some acrobatic stuff. Otherwise, I don't really need just another Spawn just standing. You know, a lot of the Spawn figures of these recent waves, they've had a bit of a static feel to them. They're not exactly figures that I would be putting on a flight stand too often. They have big capes, they have rigid power stances. So hopefully this guy will give me a little bit of variety on the shelf. Great looking ball jointed. Great looking sculpted ball jointed ankles there. Even having hit it with a hairdryer, this one ball joint is kind of wanting to separate there. You see that? Warm that up a little bit more so maybe it doesn't put as much pressure on that joint. Really good articulation from what I can tell so far. The paint apps look really good. What's here looks really good. I like that they put this nice silver here. I like that these characters are on here and look really clean. They're a little off center. But I think that's to make up for this kind of windswept look that is pretty rad. The way this fabric overlaps like this, it's pretty impressive. But what's missing, it does stand out. Not having any paint like on these spikes on his hands and on his feet there. Little things like that. The wash looks nice, but man, there's so many little buckles and details on here that would look incredible if they had some paint on them. Like, see, the top of these throwing knives is painted and the bottom isn't. Just little spots where it's missing. Look at his accessories here. He's got two of these cool katanas. The detail is great. There's no paint on the blade, though. So putting those right next to each other, there's that silver and then that unpainted sword. Kind of stands out. Ditto for he's got two of these larger bladed weapons that are pretty cool looking, but that silver not being painted stands out, The details on that handle are pretty cool. That wrapped, a little more paint on this, it's going to look exceptional, but you got to do it yourself. But hey, it's easier to add paint than it is articulation, right? So these swords fit into these sheaths on his back here. These, make a little bit more sense than some of the ones that we've gotten where one side is just completely exposed. I don't know what the fear is to having a closed sheath, but those go on his back. There he is with the katanas on his back, and he's holding these. They fit in his hand very easily. Now I wonder if, can we swap these out? Can we put the other weapons in the back here? So that works pretty well too with those blades on his back. He can be holding the katanas. That's pretty fun. These accessories are going to make for some really fun playtime. And now the sheaths do have a little bit of rotation on there if you wanted to kind of dial in where those land. And then also this, the end of his bandana here actually comes out very easily and could be rotated. So that's going to be really, really fun, you know, depending on what kind of pose you throw him in and which way you want sort of the line of action moving. This could help you sell that pose even better. Now, here's something I've noticed, and I think this is worth pointing out when you're trying to pose a guy like this. And like I said, I want to get him in some cool acrobatic poses. Inside this pelvis piece here, you've got, you know, the pieces of the legs jut up inside there. And then that kind of starts filling up some of the space that you would have to play with for moving the torso. So sometimes this can be a matter of just like, you might want to get that torso and that abdomen where you want it first and then bring the legs in. You see how I'm getting some resistance here. See, so where I was able to get a pretty decent crunch before the legs were lifted, now that the legs are up, I can move this a little bit, but I can't move this sort of ab piece. And I think that's going to hurt a character like Ninja Spawn, right? The appeal for this character for me is that he's going to fill a unique space on the shelf that none of the other spawns could quite fill. So I was really kind of depending on this guy to come through big time with the fun factor and the posability. And he's very articulated. He's highly articulated. There's no doubt about it. But some of the finer points, like getting a good crunch, that's just missing, and it would be if it was there, it would add a significant amount of fun factor. So he is both highly articulated and a little rigid. Now he doesn't come with a flight stand, but I've thrown him on one here because, like I said, if this guy's going to make it to the shelf, he needs to be doing something like this, something that no other figure is going to be doing. And here's another pose. You can see the fun factor really is there. He's just not quite, you know, snake eyes, posable. And maybe it's, you know, unfair to expect like a Revoltech articulation out of a $25 figure, $20 figure. But, if you're going to expect us to pick up Ninja Spawn, you got to make this guy like, oh, this is the secret pocket figure of the wave. This guy's the one that in hand you can do all this kind of stuff with. The look is great, absolutely. Just, maybe a little bit further with the in-hand fun factor quality. So we'll bring in Al Simmons here for comparison, and actually I'll stand up this one, Throne Spawn. We'll put Mortal Kombat Al in there as well. Coming in slightly taller than all of those guys. Throw in Malefic and Raven Spawn there on the left. And then Gunslinger and She Spawn in there. And then next to some Megafig freaks here. You guys know I love to like balance these guys on top of Megafigs and things like that. I think this guy will be really fun for interacting with these in some unique ways. I don't know. I've been trying to mess with these guys for a minute now. I'm trying to come up with like a cool pose. Honestly, the ninja poses are difficult to get. I think it really just comes down to the ab area. Like it can do some pretty good moves here, but he doesn't quite do the flips and things that I need a ninja to do. It's just not getting all the way there for me. All right, so Ninja Spawn. He definitely has a very cool look. He's definitely got some great articulation in there. But my Spawn shelf, it's getting pretty full. And for me, I need somebody that's really capable of doing some acrobatic stuff for it to be worth throwing Ninja Spawn up there, and replacing some of the cooler characters, like Soul Crusher or Gunslinger Spawn. things like that. For me, this is just, I don't think it's going to be a keeper. He really is very cool. I don't mean to be coming down that hard on it. It just, I think for me personally, I'm going to have a hard time finding the space to show him off. I think it's going to come down to personal preference, personal taste for you. I mean, if you're a big fan of ninjas and dig this sort of look, it looks fantastic, absolutely. So make up your own mind if you need this one or not, folks. I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.